Hey everybody, Diggs here. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. We are recording this a little bit early because I did get my second COVID shot, as you can see on my arm right there. So I am going to be out of commission for a couple days, but I did want to do a video on Carbuncle. Did I say it's a beautiful day? It is a beautiful day today. But Carbuncle is such an incredible PvE unit, Esper, that you have to get it. It's gonna change things in a PvE setting where you are going to be able to cheese mechanics. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's dig in. So Carbuncle's VC is coming out this week, and of course, with that is gonna be coming Carbuncle's Esper. Now, there's kind of two discussions here to be had. We have Carbuncle's VC, and then we have Carbuncle as the Esper. And we're going to start by talking about the Esper version of Carbuncle. So let's hop over here and take a look at it. It's goddamn cute. Like that, can we just get that out of the water? Like, if you don't want to pull for that cute little face looking at you, like, I don't even know if that's a mouth or like if its mouth is gonna open and it's just gonna be all fangs. I mean, it looks like there might be fangs in there. Like, does Carbuncle suck blood? Like, what is going on here? Anyway, it's super cute. So the Esper for Carbuncle is your standard magic Esper, but the 3-star form does get berserk resistance. That should be reason enough for a lot of players to pull for Carbuncle, because having that berserk resistance is going to help you against King Mont. For anybody who's had 3 units berserked in like a King Mont atrocity, you understand how important it is for maybe having 1 unit with the capability to resist, right? And then you can kind of clean up, and then hopefully your other units aren't dead yet. So berserk resistance, probably the #1 most important thing about Carbuncle. Number 2, Carbuncle's summon ability grants Reflect. So Reflect is a new buff in the game, and it works just like every single Final Fantasy. It reflects a magic spell back on its user. Now, there's going to be no shenanigans. You can't reflect a spell off yourself and like triple the damage like you could back in the day. But you are going to be able to cheese PvE mechanics in the future with this ability. And when you're going through Ultima, or you're going through other JP guides or any type of website for JP, you do actually see strategies, whether it's for Tower or whether it is for the Select Quest. In particular, there's one coming up, Select Quest 9, which we're actually getting probably in the next few weeks here. The strategy actually says, use Carbuncle's summon, because you're going to be going up against a high tier magic user. On the Light Element Select Quest 9, you do have to fight Garvel, and dealing with Garvel is a handful for anyone who's ever dealt with Garvel, because in the Select Quest missions, you have certain achievements you have to hit, and you know, all it takes is a Garvel to just mess up everything for you. So the strategy for Garvel is to cast Carbuncle, have Garvel reflect an attack off you, and kill himself. Now, I'm all for killing Garvels because they annoy the hell out of me. But this is the type of Esper that is going to change how we do things in PvE content, and is going to potentially impact the future of the game in unpredictable ways. So currently, Carbuncle is going to be the only way to gain access to Reflect in this game, and because of that, I'm going to say that Carbuncle is a must pull for this upcoming week. Yes, the Berserk is nice, but if you care about being able to do some mechanics easily in the future, or giving yourself an easy time, Reflect is going to be really powerful. And if you want to know if a spell can be reflectable, this should actually probably be a separate video all on its own, I think. But you can actually see an icon next to your spell casting. It'll be right next to where it either says it's a magic attack, physical attack, slash attack, or missile attack, and it will say whether the attack is reflectable. And I really think I should probably just do a separate video talking about that. So look forward to that in the future. In terms of the Esper board for Carbuncle, I really like the Esper board because this Esper board is laid out in a way that lets you fully invest in light attack. You can fully invest in dark killer, which there's a lot of times where we're going up against dark units, whether it's GVG, whether it's PvP, whether it's guild battle, whether it's, you know, raid, right? So you're able to get that 50 modification pretty powerful. And then you can have Demon Killer, right? You potentially get Demon Killer. If you don't want Demon Killer, you can just pick up an extra 15 modification over here by grabbing Magic Attack, right? And then it just opens up Carbuncle really nicely. Another thing really nice with Carbuncle is Carbuncle does have access to dark resistance, right? So there's a lot of situations where you do want to have maybe some dark resistance, or you're going up in a situation where the only defense you're going to have is dark resistance. So that is another nice aspect. And it also seemed like Carbuncle did not have negative 10% dark resistance innately, which is really good for a light element Esper. And honestly, Carbuncle, I feel like, is never a light element Esper. I think Carbuncle has always kind of been like a neutral Esper that, like, over the time has kind of been grouped together into light element Espers, but he's always been like protective, reflective, and I do love that they kept the reflect nature of Carbuncle, because I think that's just the, like, that's just the bottom, like, that's what Carbuncle does, right? Let's talk about the VC, because the VC is okay. The global exclusive buff is interesting, and I'm kind of interested to see how it's utilized. The VC, when it's maxed, is going to give 327 HP, 2 Spirit, 164 Magic. It's one of the few VCs that's actually going to give Spirit up to the party for light element units. So for the party-wide effect, light element units are going to get missile resistance and increased Spirit 8. And then you're also going to get defense debuff resistance 40 at max level, which is like, that's not that huge of a deal. Actually, it's kind of a bummer, right? The individual effect is for light units only, and it's going to increase magic 10%. It's going to increase defense 10, and it's going to decrease evasion -5. So do keep that in mind, because, you know, it's a pretty powerful defensive utility. And if you think about, like, Mastery, for example, Mastery could have upwards of like 45 defense just in passives, buffs, and VCs. So it's okay. It's interesting. I'm going to give this kind of like a, like, it could have a use, right? Missile resistance could be viable. I think missile resistance is going to be more viable in the near future as King Curry EX comes out, as we see potentially Summer Lilith come out. We're going to see King Jaden come out, right? So lots of things to think about there. I think this is really anti-Jaden, actually, because it's giving missile resistance part to the party and it's giving spirit to the party. So it's like a double thronged, like, Jaden resistance package. So this will probably be a really relevant VC, like, down the road, I imagine. Probably not now, but down the road it's going to be really important. I'm also really curious, the VC ability that came with Carbuncle, which heals an ally and grants that ally CT, seems really powerful. I believe it's CT. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go check, because I believe it is CT here. I can pull my game up. You guys can see I was doing the EXP challenge in the background. I'm trying to get my Monday missions out of the way here so that I can just pass the hell out later today. But let's actually go read the ability just so that we can talk about it a little bit, because I'm really interested in how it might be utilized on calculator units, since it's mace only. So it is raises CT medium. And I did have a comment on one of my videos that raises CT medium was usually 250 CT, which is essentially a quarter of Quicken's value, right? Because Quicken adds 1,000 CT. So if it is 250 CT, I think Ruby Rejuvenation is not going to be incredible. But if it is somewhere above 250, I could actually see this being utilized like a really powerful defensive healing way, particularly on calculators. I think it could be just another way to buff calculators. And if you look at the ability, like, it fits into like the calculator world, right? Where it buffs CT, it heals, like, it would be great. So it would be great on any of the calculators, and I'm kind of excited to experiment with it and test it out. Anyway, everybody, my end goal here, pull for Carbuncle. He's gonna be an amazing Esper. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video now, and I'm gonna go pass out for like 2 days. But I'll see you guys when I'm feeling better and when I am fully vaccinated and my 5G is activated. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.